What's up, producers? Not sure what's up with my intro there. Sorry about that. Well, it's part 17 of Let's Make a Song. Thanks for joining me. This is Matt from Music Producer School. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to jump right in. If you've missed any of the previous episodes of this Making a Song series, you can go to the link in the comments there, and that will get you to all the previous episodes on Facebook or YouTube. We're going to be picking up where we left off in Ableton today, and I was going to do a bit of a cleanup session today, but also it's been a while since I've taken any questions. So if anybody today had any questions out there about producing, any questions about, any techniques or equipment or anything like that, feel free to drop me a comment, and I'll do my best to answer your question, because today I want to do a little bit of just some cleanup on all the work that we've done, because our little idea has now blossomed into we got a good little bit of stuff going on here. So let's, as always, do a save live set as. And this is going to be 17.1. And again, as I've explained before, I would say most songs that I've done that have gone to radio, I would say, on that level or been released, I would say have gone at least about 8 to 10 hours as far as, original, demo-ish to starting point to completely mixed and mastered final production. So I'm doing these shorter sessions, so usually about 30 minutes, sometimes 45. I think I might have did an hour once or twice, but we're probably at about 8 hours, I would say, on this at this point. And that's actually from the writing portion of this, when I did that in the very beginning. So it's not too bad, and I'm also doing a lot of chatting along the way, explaining what I'm doing. So let's see what we got so far, because I haven't listened to it since the last time. And let's make sure. I believe, I think my my audio card switched inputs for some reason during my intro there. So let's get the right one going here. All right, let's see what we got, and we're gonna do some cleanup on this today.
One more day, feels like you threw my heart away. One more chance, you let a good love slip through your hands. Stand aside when the tears start coming, falling down like rain. It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness, a brand new kind of pain. And all I can do is dance. All I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool. So that's pretty much the gist of it right now. There's definitely a few more sprinkles that need to be added. We started doing some transitional stuff last time. And the cool thing is, you know, the song is coming to life now. I mean, it's not where it needs to be for sure, but the song actually sounds like something. So if you've managed to be watching this from the very beginning of the conception of the song, I have to say I'm happy with the way it's progressed because I feel like it's been quality steps each part of the way. So I'm happy with it, the progress, but it's definitely not where it needs to be yet. So what I wanted to do today was I wanted to start trying to kind of clean some things up. And you know, with a lot of this stuff, you know, in theory, it's nice to have the MIDI everywhere because you can, you know, manipulate the MIDI and do what you want to do and whatever. And that's true. But there are some cases where I like to start, you know, almost in essence limiting my choices because if I always have access to this MIDI stuff, I'm always kind of wondering, okay, is this the right sample? Should I be switching? Should I be switching? And for some reason, it doesn't become real until you commit to some stuff. So what we're gonna do today is maybe do some commitment type things where instead of all this MIDI stuff, at the very least, we're gonna go through and freeze a bunch of stuff. So I'm interested with this new version of Ableton that I upgraded to. This is 10. I know Ableton 11 is just right around the corner, which is why I upgraded to 10. And I have to say, I'm very pleased with it so far. Let's see if, first of all, like this M1 drop B that I had programmed in addition, let's see what that's about real quick. Let's check that out one more time. Yeah, I think probably just get rid of that. Okay, yeah, so when I say cleanup also, I don't necessarily always mean that I'm going to be getting rid of you know, tracks or committing stuff. It's basically what I'm trying to do is always make everything as efficient as possible. So that way, when we get to the point, especially of a final mix, you know, sometimes it is nice to have a little MIDI left because if you get to the final mix and for some reason the sound is just not cutting through, it's nice to be able to change the sound. So let's take a little closer look here at our pianos, for example. I believe this is all playing the same stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and I believe so like this LFO tool, for example, is not being used at all. So we can get rid of this. Mid piano. I believe this is all operating on a lot of the same stuff. LFO tool. Yeah, it just never comes on. So we're not using it. So again, I'm just kind of trying to get rid of some stuff that we're not using. It's just easier to deal with this stuff when you have to make changes later if you do. So let's kind of dig in here. Yeah, so this looks like it's all pretty much the same MIDI. And this B drop, I think we're just not going to use. So what we could do potentially is group all these pianos, since we're using all the same MIDI here anyway. And we could put it all on one track, and then we could have all of our pianos going on one thing. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. Let's see how complicated, I don't want to make it harder than it needs to be also. Yeah, it sounds to me like for the pianos, I'm cool with them, but it sounds like I need a little bit more punch to the higher mids. I'm thinking maybe saturate this high piano just a little bit more. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of this OTT. Also, what I want to do is group my basses here as well. So we're going to call this bass. We'll just call it bass group. And we may need to operate on that a little bit as well. We need to now send these to our bass group. So this, for example, when I'm talking about cleanup, so as we were writing, the track, I'm adding some of these LFO tools, which I like because it's just a quick side chain to get that pump going. But now that we're starting to kind of, again, consolidate things, and I call it cleaning up, what I want to see if I can do is just put this LFO tool on the bass group. So I'm going to just copy one of these, and now I'm going to turn off both of these LFO tools, and we're going to listen and see if it sounds about the same. Yeah, I think it sounds about the same to me. I'm going to get rid of these key commands. This is another cool little trick for anybody watching that uses Ableton. So if I really want to test this, check this out. I'm going to go to my high bass, and I'm going to click the LFO tool power button. And I'm going to just use my tilde key over here. So I did Command K to turn on the key mapping mode, and the key, it doesn't matter really what key you're using, I'm just using the tilde. And I got my LFO power right here now. So now I'm going to go to the low bass, same thing, click this one, tilde, turn it on. And now for the bass group, I'm going to do the same thing, turn it on there. So now when I hit that, you see I can turn all of these off and on. So the LFO tools are at the flick of a button will be off, while the bass group is turned on for LFO tool. So what that allows me to do is compare the difference between the old setup and the new setup with LFO tool just on the bass group, just with the flick of a button. So it's pretty good way to compare things. So this is with the bass group starting off, and I'll switch to the individuals. Yeah, I don't think I can tell a difference, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is get rid of these LFO tools on the individual tracks, because ideally if we can just have one master LFO tool to grab everybody's volume, that way everybody's pumping at exactly the same time, so everything's going to be a lot tighter and cleaner, or at least we'll have more control. So now I have everything going into this bass group with this LFO tool, and that's where the pump's going to be happening. And now what we can do is do something like a little bit of I guess we'll do saturator at the end of this and just give it a little bit more bite. Cool, so I'm feeling that. So now what we can do also that we've addressed these is we can take all of my piano stuff and I can freeze these. And this is just going to help, you know, just general responsiveness while we're working. And again, I'm interested to see, normally I would just go ahead and commit this stuff to audio, but I'm interested to see with this new Ableton version how it handles a lot of these tracks and the freezing, because they do, I believe, allow you to change stuff even when the tracks are frozen. And I know Ableton 11 is going to have even more functionality when it comes to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and freeze these for now. But again, I want to start kind of folding a lot of this stuff up. And once we freeze it, once this finishes, what I want to start doing now is just folding this up, and now I'm basically just thinking about my keys. Just the keys without really any of this extra stuff going on. And that's going to be it. And then the same thing for my synths, which I believe my synths are pretty good. Let's see if we need to borrow this pad for anything. So should we put that in the breakdown as well? I'm not so sure about this melody right here, so I'm gonna just mute it for now because I'm not 100% on that one. But the rest of this stuff, I think we can also go ahead and freeze. So let's freeze this. And again, I'm trying to just start, you know, closing these folders down so that really all these multiple tracks that we have. So like for the synths, I have what, like 4, I think, different tracks going on here maybe. And I'm going to now just think of these 4 tracks as one, and I'm going to try to just start operating on that group bus level now. It's just easier to start, you know, kind of folding things inward. the nice thing, like I said, and I'm interested to see how Ableton handles it, is the way when you can freeze tracks like this, it's kind of essentially like committing, but you can get back to things a little bit easier and quicker as far as MIDI stuff goes. So I hope if anybody's not clear on any of this stuff, feel free to ask me a question in the comments, and I will be sure to address any of your concerns if possible. All right, so I have all these synths are now closed up, and now I can have me a nice small synth track. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the bass. We're going to freeze up the bass. And yeah, this one is not as much fun and experimentation as the last one we did, or the last couple we did, where I was, you know, messing with the vocals and stuff like that. But I think the next sessions we do will be, you know, doing the final parts after all this stuff's cleaned up. For me anyway, mentally, it just makes it easier for me to kind of keep going as long as I know things are nice and orderly and they're kind of like compartmentalized. And I'm not sure if, you know, everybody works that way, but I feel just better when I know I can compartmentalize this stuff. And you see, I just can fold it up and I don't really have to look at it anymore. So the same thing with the drums. Now the drums, what I will do sometimes is I'll go grab the actual sample that this kick is using, and I'll just go literally paste it, you know, just all on the grid. But again, I'm interested to see how Ableton 10 is going to handle this stuff. And I'm also looking at this kick drum, which looks like I could probably start it a little bit closer to the transient there. And then let's not warp it. Yeah, so a lot of this vocal chop stuff, all these drums, I think I can go ahead and freeze this stuff now. What's up, Math Moth? Oh, on Twitch. Hey, shout out to all my Twitch people out there if you're watching. I appreciate it. Just trying to help everybody produce better, man. Like I said, if y'all had any questions, feel free to hit me up, and I'll see what I can do to answer your questions about music production. Since I'm waiting for this thing to freeze here, yeah, I try not to, you know, talk too much about my accomplishments, but just, you know, for a little bit of my resume, I have had multiple songs on the charts and on radio. Some pretty decent things happen in my career, so I'm just trying to spread the knowledge to all the future producers out there. And today we just happen to be finishing the workings on this dance song, but I'm going to be covering a lot of different other types of genres very soon when this one's done. I'll probably do just some more technique videos. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on the comments, or you can hit me up on the Facebook page over there. Now, for these effects, I'm probably going to leave this open because we definitely do need some more effects for sure. So I got my drum group here. This is all well and good that these are frozen, but I am going to need more of like some almost like some crashes or something to go into these drops.
All I can do is,
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, we could use the same stuff from here. Would work. I don't think we're going to do that, though. But let's just test it real quick just to see. It won't hurt, just to test.
all I can do is dance.
And just watch how just crazy it is when you add effects. I'm gonna undo that real quick and just listen to this build.
All I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mean, it's like, you know, it's like just nothing's happening. So now listen, just from getting these effects in here.
All I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All I can do is
Now that was better, but we need to do some better sound and effects for this section right here. So let me see how long we're running. Damn, we're already up to 30 minutes, huh? All right, well, I'm gonna leave these open, these downlifters and all this, because we're gonna need to add some more effects and whatnot for this section for sure. But let me show y'all also really quickly. Well, let's finish up our cleanup here. So we have these drums. We can you know, we have those in our folders. So again, I have everything in the track all go into this track channel right here. So another thing I want to do is I want to get all of my vocals. I would prefer to get them anyway. I want to get them all into a group. So this is my lead vocal here. Vocal chops. We're going to save that stuff for later. But all of this stuff right here, I'm going to call this my LVOX for lead vocals. So now we have all this stuff going here. All of my vocal takes, that was all the extra stuff that I don't really need to see. So I'm actually going to put that at the bottom here with some of these extra things as well. It's just kind of nice because you can get it in the folder and it's still there, but it's out of the way. And this is what I'm really loving about Ableton so far, Ableton 10. I can do these subgroups with these folders. You couldn't do that in Ableton 9, and this is super clutch because you can finally nest these groups in each other. So I can keep all these takes kind of handy, but I don't have to look at them anymore. And for me, again, just visually, I need things to be clean and efficient. So we've got all this stuff now going to the LVOX. We need to make sure we're all going to the LVOX bus. Which is the group LVOX right up here. That's a little bit tricky. I hope y'all paying attention. So I can actually put my lead vocal bus in here. And I'm doing this for lead vocals because I don't think we're going to have a ton of backgrounds. If I was going to have a background-centric song, I would also set a separate bus up for the background vocals. And it's possible we may split some things off anyway. But now I have all of these effects and all this stuff. I could essentially just throw them on the lead vocal group here. What I think I may do though is I'm gonna just keep this lead vocal bus outside on its own, and we're gonna call this all vocals for now. So all of these are gonna go to my subgroup LVOX, and then this master is gonna go to all vocals down here. And I may tighten that up later. So now I have all this stuff just kind of nice and clean, and I can just look at, instead of we started off the session with like probably 30, 40 tracks, and now I'm able to just look at this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 6 tracks now that I'm kind of looking at. Now, if I need to go dig in and get the individual pieces, I can do that. But I've now consolidated everything into essentially a nice almost 6-channel session, excluding the return channels here. So what I wanted to show you is I have I have all of my track to this one channel here and all of my vocals to this one channel here, which is nice because now I can just solo one or the other.
All I can do is all I is. All I can do is all I can do is all I can do is that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like we're getting some quality stuff here where, especially when we get to the mix, the way I like to work, I'm kind of, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm kind of mixing as I go. So I like to get to the end where it's really more just about manipulating the levels of things and kind of pushing the dynamics with automation so it kind of breathes and pushes and pulls a little bit. And to just hype certain sections of the song. So we're going to get to that. But yeah, so far I'm liking all of this. It just takes time to get quality stuff. You know, this is the type of song that, you know, you never know. I mean, if we can get a couple more key pieces in there, it could be a really dope song. So I'm happy with the way it's coming along so far. That's going to be it for me for today. You guys and girls, I'm not going to be able to make it to the producer school community today because I do have to run, but be sure that you go join the Music Producer School community Facebook page, and that's where I normally go on Saturdays to listen to your tracks, so you can post your SoundCloud, your Spotify links, your YouTube, whatever it is, and I'm going to go there and listen and critique your songs. I can't do it today, but I will be back next week for that, so be sure to go join it. The link is in all of the comments on Facebook, YouTube, and everything else. So y'all have a great day. I will see y'all again on Tuesday, and we're going to start having a couple more fun sessions with this. Today was a little more utility, but yeah, this is just kind of the stuff you have to do to keep track of all this stuff before it gets super crazy on you. Also, it's key because if you need to do remixes, like for example, one of the songs that I did a year or two ago, we needed to do stems for remixing. So if you take the time to set everything up this way, you can get your stem for your track where it's just the instrumental. You can do a stem for your vocals really quickly.
All I can do is one more day.
So by really just keeping track of this stuff as you go, if a label hits you up and is like, yo, that's dope, we need an instrumental and an acapella ASAP, all you got to do is go into your session if you're setting things up this way, and you can just solo, highlight what you want, you know, maybe the whole song, maybe you just need the hook, and you just highlight, bounce, export audio, you know. So just, this stuff's important to keep track of, so I hope y'all are taking note. All right, I'll see y'all again on Tuesday. Peace out. Y'all share the stream. I'd appreciate it.